This is a production of PBS Charlotte.
Welcome back to the Dapper Dad's dinner table with your host Tim Harris. I'm glad to have you. Today I've got a really special recipe and a really special someone's going to be joining me. Tonight's focus is going to be date night. As a busy parent, it's wonderful when you have some time and just alone with the two of you. My kids are staying the night with their cousins at the farm. So tonight we're going to do a little French dinner with a twist. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. We've got everything ready to go for our steak au poivre, steak frites. I'm gonna like to introduce you to that special someone, my wife, Ashley. Hey there, how are you? Oh. Okay, how often do we cook together?
Not very often. We basically have a day where you're in charge of cooking and then a day where I'm in charge of cooking. Very, very rarely do we get together to be able to do this.
I know, so this is a really cool experience. We get to be in the kitchen actually cooking together. Hopefully we won't be stepping on each other's toes and bumping each other out of the way. So, I know that you love steak.
I do.
You like to try new things and different things.
I do.
So what we're gonna do here today is we're gonna do a steak au poivre.
Okay, a what?
Steak au poivre.
Okay, say that a little slower.
Steak au poivre and fries.
Okay.
Peppercorn. It's going to be a peppercorn steak with fries, steak frites, if you will.
Okay, got it.
We're just going to kick it with a little kind of French thing. We've got some wonderful ingredients. Black peppercorn. It's actually going to be very simple, but we're going to make it look fancy and finish fancy. The key to this is going to be a wonderful pan sauce.
Okay.
Some people find it a bit of a challenge, but it's actually pretty easy, and we're gonna try to pull that off here together. I think we can do it.
Okay, I'm really good at taking instructions.
Taking instructions, following directions.
You point me in the right direction and what you need your help with.
People ask all the time, Tim, how old is your wife? She's so lucky, you do all of the cooking. No, that is not true. I do not do all of the cooking. I do a lot of the cooking, you're right. But my wife does a lot of cooking as well. I guess the biggest difference in the two of us is
I follow a recipe.
Follow a recipe. If it's on a box, in a book, in a magazine, whatever, she can recreate it and it will look just like the picture. I'm more of the creative cook. I'm in and out of the pantry. I'm trying new things. So, well, good question. If you saw this recipe on social media, in a magazine,
would have never
Bravo.
picked it. Nope, wouldn't have
You
picked it.
wouldn't have tried it?
No, wouldn't.
But if you saw this on a menu at a restaurant?
Yeah, I probably would have tried it.
But you wouldn't try to make it yourself?
No, definitely not. Too complicated.
I don't know. I'm going to put well, maybe we can just kind of demystify it. I'm not going to say that it's simple, but it's got a little, it's complex, not complicated. Complex flavors and everything. All right, so for this, basically at the end of the day, we are going to have a wonderfully cooked steak with a peppercorn sauce, a creamy peppercorn sauce over super crispy French fries. Steak frites, steak au poivre style steak. I think it's going to be really great. First thing we're going to do, we're going to start off with the French fries because they are going to, out of these components, they are probably going to take about the longest, and we're going to go ahead and get those in the oven. All right, we'll go ahead and put these on here, spread them out nice and
Now,
clear.
do we need to put anything on the fries or on the pan?
No, we're just going to
get started?
When they get done, we'll go ahead and salt them a little bit when they're done. But other than that, that should be enough for the two of us right there.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and get that taken care of. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get our pot heated up.
Okay.
Pan. This skillet was my grandmother's. I inherited it. I found it in a box of her belongings and things. There was just 3 other skillets in a box wrapped in newspaper. They're in pretty bad shape, but I was able to restore them all. And by the markings on this one, the best we can get, this one's probably close to like 85, possibly 100 years old. But they clearly don't make things like they used to because this thing looks brand new. It holds heat evenly and well. And we're using something a little new here at the Dapper Dad's dinner table. I've got an induction cooktop. So that way I can just face you guys all the time. I don't have to turn back to you. It is an induction cooktop, so the surface, although it will get warm and get hot, it's actually, how long have I had this on there? It's already smoking the oil on there. It's actually heating the pan. The key to using one of these, it's great if you want to do like an Asian hot pot at the table or something where you're cooking at the table, like even a fondue. The only key is you've got to make sure that you've got an iron pot, pan, whatever. Cast iron, of course, works really great, and but if you're wondering which one to get, you can always just have a magnet, a refrigerator magnet. If a refrigerator magnet will stick to it, it'll work. So it's heating up a lot quicker than I thought it was. We'll go ahead and get a little bit of oil in there.
Okay.
Get that going. I'm sure that a lot of people are going to want to know how we met.
It's a very interesting story. So when I met Tim, he was traveling a lot, and I was really just starting my career. So we actually met online. We met on Match.com 13 years ago.
13 years ago now.
It will be, because we've been married for almost 11. And he was my last date on Match. You were mine. Yeah. So kind of a cool story. 11 years ago, people didn't meet online.
As frequently as people do now and everything. So
yeah, but the funny part about the story is that when we did meet, people would ask where we met, and I said... We were kind of weird about sharing that. We were embarrassed about where we met, so we actually told people that we met backpacking in Europe. And
our good friends never put two and two together that neither one of us had singularly gone backpacking through Europe.
Yeah.
I guess they just wanted North Fact.
Yeah, agreed. I personally thought that it was a really cool date idea. So all of the other guys that I had dated said, why don't we go for dinner? And he was like, why don't we go for brunch? So we met for brunch. We actually had our rehearsal dinner at the same restaurant that we met for brunch at. Well, he showed up late to the date, so I immediately thought he's probably not a punctual person. But after we had lunch, he invited me to continue the date, so we went and had Bloody Marys, which I thought was a nice addition to the day. But yeah, initially, I liked you. I liked you from when we were talking online, and I liked you from the
makes my heart go pitter-patter.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Well, I'd hope so. It's like 14 years later. We're together, two kids, a house, and cars, and all that. And now we're on.
And we have the same cell phone bill.
Yes. We were together for about 8, 9, 10 years. We had 2 children, and we finally got on the same cell phone plan.
Yes.
We're just like,
I'm sure people can relate to that.
So, okay. Well, what we're going to start off with, we got our pan smoking you out over here, but it's getting nice and hot. We want to keep that going nice and hot. Might even turn it down just a little bit. So, for our steak here, I have selected a Denver steak. I think this one slices up nicely because that's how we're going to serve it sliced. Okay. And what we're going to do to start this off is we are going to coat this in peppercorns.
Okay.
So you want to use cracked peppercorns, not just ground pepper, pulverized pepper. And you're probably thinking to yourself, Tim, where do I find black peppercorns, crushed black peppercorns? Well, you can do one of two things. Sometimes your pepper grinder may have different settings for coarse and fine. Yeah. Set it as coarse as it can go and start grinding. We're going to need about 2 tablespoons of peppercorns, so that's a lot of grinding. If you want to work on your forearms, that's pretty good. But a simple trick is get some peppercorns, put them in a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag, place them on your hard surface countertop. A little loud here.
We're going to crack them ourselves.
We're going to crack them ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, like, once again, you don't want to pulverize and pound them. You just want to make sure they're cracking. You're like, Tim, I don't have a meat mallet. Maybe you have a rolling pin. You don't have a rolling pin. You probably have a heavy pan. Just do that. Just be sure that you're not doing it on something that can break. If you need to, it's in a plastic bag. Take it out to the garage. Do it on the floor, on the concrete floor like that. So you're going to do that. And see, they're getting cracked.
Oh yeah, okay.
So you don't want it powdered like in a pepper shaker, but to save on the noise, we're just I've already done this, but yeah, you just keep continuing on and move across the bag. Now, the star of the show wasn't the steak, it wasn't the fries, it wasn't me or even my beautiful wife. The star of the show was the peppercorns. You cannot make steak au poivre without some good quality peppercorns to crack for the crust on there. Steak au poivre is French for peppered steak or steak with pepper. Thing is, there's not just the regular black peppercorns that we're all accustomed to. We've got black, we've got green, white, and pink peppercorns. Now, one of these is not even actually a peppercorn, but we'll get into that in just a few minutes here. First off, the black peppercorn, that's what we're all accustomed to. It's been in every pepper shaker on the table of every dinner table and restaurant you've ever been to. Usually finely ground, coarsely ground. It's the cornerstone of any spice seasoning rack in just about any kitchen in America. The black peppercorn typically has a strong, pungent, yet versatile flavor profile that makes it great for a variety of dishes. The black peppercorn actually comes from the unripe green peppercorns that are taken off and harvested. They are then quickly cooked in some boiling water and then set out to dry. Typically and traditionally, it was probably dried in the sun, but these days it's probably used as more of a machine drying, which gives that outer skin that kind of wrinkled look, like almost like a little tiny round raisin. Next is The green peppercorn. Now, traditionally, this is what you would use for the steak au poivre. The green peppercorn is typically not cooked and dried like the black peppercorns are. They are picked when they are still very green and ripe, which allows it to retain that vibrant green color, gives it a really pungent flavor. They're not cooked and dried. They're typically brined in a brine or a vinegar, and sometimes freeze-dried. These green peppercorns, they have just almost like a little more kind of like, I don't want to call it fruity, but a little more, tiny bit more fragrancy than the kind of pungent black pepper fragrance. Next, we've got what we call white pepper. Now, white pepper peppercorns come from the fully mature berry. The ripe red berry is soaked in water for about a week. It allows the skin to soften and makes it really easy to come off. So that's what you see on the green and the black peppercorns, the wrinkly, that's the skin being left on. So what you're left with is the pepper seed, basically. And what we do with that, it grinds down, it's very white, it's very light. It's typically used in your mashed potatoes, your white soups, your cream sauces. It has a more appealing look than these black specks in your white sauce or your white soup. It has a more earthy, sometimes musty flavor. Last but not least, we've got the pink peppercorn. And the funny thing is, this really isn't even a peppercorn. It's actually the berry of the Peruvian pepper tree. It's very light, it's very airy, like you can, I don't know if you can hear that, you can crush it in your fingers. So these are mildly sweet with a really fruity, fragrant flavor. And it's kind of funny because these have a little more of a pepper fragrance than the other actual real peppercorns here. It's used as a garnish to add a little extra flavor. And a lot of times you'll see it when you go buy a pepper medley that has some ground peppers in it, you'll see a couple of these in there because it does add the pepper flavor, but it also adds a little more fragrant floral flavor to it and kind of dresses up the jar, in my opinion. It has a lot less heat than a true peppercorn, but still retains that pepper flavor. Due to their color and delicate flavor, it's oftentimes used as a garnish for salads, soups, seafood. Now, one of the things about the peppercorn is you can't really use it alone in a traditional pepper grinder. Because it's so soft and light, it'll also allow some of the natural oils in there to kind of gum up the pepper grinder if you use it by itself. That's why also you always see it in kind of a pepper medley. So the more coarse, the more dense, the harder peppercorns will help push it through. If you have some and you want to crush it to get it, the best thing I recommend is a mortar and pestle. You just take the mortar and pestle, go ahead and grind it up. It starts to grind out. And believe it or not, these are also used in some desserts. If you're familiar with that, kind of little bit of pepper can really balance out some really sweet, creamy desserts to help it out. Although not widely used in my kitchen, the pink peppercorns, I think I'm gonna find more ways to incorporate those, and I'm really intrigued by the dessert aspect. So keep an eye out. I might try something and top it off with some pink peppercorns for dessert. Now, this recipe traditionally would have green peppercorns.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have any green peppercorns on hand, so we're gonna use kind of like a peppercorn medley with some black peppercorns, and I think everything will be just fine.
So do you find the black peppercorns in the spice aisle?
Yeah,
at
the spice aisle, right by the salt,
so right
and
with the
rubs
salt
and
pepper.
everything else. Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna use just a little bit of olive oil, just a touch, just to get that so they got something to stick to. We'll put it on either side.
So the only spice that we're putting on here is the peppercorns.
It's the black peppercorn.
And then we're gonna rely on the
Finish it with some
sauce
salt.
to have a lot of the flavor.
The sauce is gonna just blow you away.
Okay.
Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and make sure we coat this. I know what you're thinking, you're like, man, that's a lot of pepper, but that is the point, to make it coated, to coat it really good with the pepper.
So when we cook it, is it gonna make almost like a crust, like a crispy crust?
It is gonna make a crispy
pepper?
crust,
Okay.
which is why we're gonna slice it very thin, so you're gonna get like just a little bit of that.
Okay. So what's your favorite cut of meat?
My favorite cut of meat for this, I like a Denver steak. You could use a New York strip. If you wanted to get really fancy and keep it French, you could do the filet mignon.
Okay, which happens to be my favorite.
Except that you order it like medium well all the time, so I don't know why you bother.
Oh, that's
but,
that's another funny story. So one of our first dates, we went to a steakhouse. And when I ordered my steak, I had gotten a filet, and I called the waiter down and I said, "Can you butterfly it and make it well?" And Tim immediately looked at me and was like, "What? Wait, you're getting beef jerky at this really nice steak restaurant?" And I was like, "Yeah." So, but I've gotten a little bit better.
You've ventured out. You've been going more on the medium side. I can't get you over to the medium rare Pittsburgh side just yet.
No.
But we've got medium rare.
No.
Okay, now that we've got this nice and peppered, we are going to go and we're going to add a little butter. This is going to be a lot of sizzle and probably a lot of smoke.
Okay.
A little pat of butter with the olive oil that we've got in there. You want to make sure this is nice and hot. You always pat your steak dry before you add any seasonings or anything to it. So I think this is going to be really good, really tasty, and just like I said, something a little different. A little peppercorn-crusted steak, if you will. So.
Did you just put one?
I just put a little bit of butter in there. I wanted the butter to brown like that, so that's going to also help us with the crisp. And here we go. Now, what we should take is probably about 2.5, 3 minutes per side.
Okay.
And we're just gonna let it sit there like that. You don't wanna move it just yet. I know it's gonna be enticing to touch it, poke at it, and do that.
So I think that we really started, well, he started experimenting with food when we had kids and we were home and life was a little bit busier than normal.
And when the world shut down,
COVID,
you can't go out to your favorite restaurant as much as you used to. So,
And we had to do 3 meals a day. We were responsible for cooking breakfast, we were cooking lunch, we were cooking dinner. We were spending a lot of time together, and I felt like it was really hard to also add variety to what we were cooking for the kids. But we did a really good job. Oh yeah, that smells really good.
The aromatics and peppers coming out really well for that.
How do we know when it's time to flip?
I'm gonna take a quick peek. And I think that is good. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over. You can see we got a nice crust working on there.
Yep.
I think that's perfect. Now, one of the important things that we're gonna do is we're gonna let the steak rest while we make our pan sauce.
Okay.
Pan sauces are really fun because we're gonna use a lot of the bits that have the black bits that have cooked onto the pan and everything. We're gonna scrape those up, and that's gonna be the basis for a lot of the flavor. And just trying to use we've got some Dijon mustard.
Okay.
Mustard. And some onions, some shallots. It's all fancy stuff, you know? I feel like. And then some heavy cream and some cognac. When it comes to cooking, you don't have to go out and get a whole bottle. Go by the liquor store, package store, get you a little mini bottle. Now, it is not required, but it will definitely add some of the flavor to it for sure. All right, we've got a nice crust on all sides. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this. We'll just put it on this plate right here, and we're gonna let this rest.
Okay.
And we're gonna set it over here. Now, we've got a lot of peppercorn in there, so I am gonna get just a little bit of that out.
Okay.
We've got a little crusty bits and everything in there. We're gonna add a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
We're gonna add some butter. We're gonna let that melt down. It's gonna release all of that from it, and it's gonna just add flavor. Oh yeah, it's very hot. I'm gonna maybe go ahead and add a little more butter. Bring up the temperature just a little bit.
Okay.
See, now that the peppercorns are gone, the smoke is gone. This recipe and all the other recipes from Dapper Dad's Dinner Table can be found on pbscharlotte.org. Please check it out. Give us some feedback. Try it at home. Let me know how it works. I'd love to hear from you. Now we're gonna add some shallots.
Okay. Is there an order in which we should put the ingredients in? Okay.
And that's the order I'm putting them in.
Okay. And I'm assuming that's on the recipe.
But of course that'll be on the recipe. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead, see it's picking up all those little bits from the bottom. That's just gonna add more flavor. Oh, making a mess.
It's very, very hot.
Smell that.
Yeah, it smells really, really good. Oh, yeah.
Okay, as they start to turn translucent like that, yep. To that, we're gonna go ahead and add some of the beef broth.
Okay.
We're gonna add a little bit of Dijon mustard.
Okay.
If you don't have Dijon mustard, you can use your favorite mustard, a spicy brown mustard, but Dijon mustard would definitely work the best for this.
That even adds more to the smell.
Oh yeah.
This is awesome. I can't believe the kids are gone for the whole night.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Well, I hope you enjoy this as much as I enjoy making it with you, for you. Do you want to check on our fries over there real quick?
I'm sure. I think they're doing okay. Can I pull them out and give them a shake?
Yeah, if you want to, go ahead. All right.
Okay. Fries look good.
We're gonna add a little bit of the brandy, cooking brandy. And as that is boiling off, we'll see if we can get a little flambe action from that. There we go.
I feel like this is a process you would definitely see at a restaurant.
Well, probably not. It's probably happening behind the scenes in the kitchen.
Maybe.
I'm sure like one of those really cool restaurants where they're cooking everything in front of you. Okay, as that's going, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some heavy cream.
Okay.
We're gonna add this in a little bit at a time. We're gonna stir it, and we're gonna turn the heat up a little bit because we want this to thicken up.
Okay.
See the shallots in there and everything?
So more of like a gravy kind of texture.
Kind of, yeah,
a
we're
little
looking for a
thick.
gravy texture. I'll
Okay.
show you a cool trick to check that out in a minute. We're gonna go ahead and put a little more here.
Okay.
We don't want to burn it, we don't want to break it. Maybe add a little bit more butter, because butter is good with everything.
Okay.
And we're just going to let that simmer for a little bit now.
So how do we know it's not going to stick to the pan? Is it the butter?
No, it
That
shouldn't
kinda
stick to the pan. If it sticks to the pan, it's because it was on too high.
Okay.
While it's going, why don't you have a little taste?
Oh, okay.
It's going to be hot. Let me know what you think. How is
Ooh,
that going to
that's really
taste
good.
over a steak?
Really, really good.
Awesome.
I can definitely taste the peppercorn that was in there, but then also the shallots.
I did add alcohol to it. Is there an alcohol-y taste?
You know, it really doesn't taste like brandy.
Well, that's kind of good because we don't want it to be a brandy sauce. We just want it to kind of accentuate the flavors that are already there with the onions and the cream and everything. So when you're cooking with alcohol, you don't really want it to be super alcohol-y flavored. You want, that's why we burned off some of the actual alcohol,
Right.
and we want the actual flavor from the, the fruit distillation of the brandy.
Yeah. More of just a hint to
Yep.
just maybe enhance the other
Yeah,
flavors.
just to
that are in
enhance the other
pan.
flavors, just like a hint of it.
Okay.
Now, if we didn't use it, and you don't have to use it if you don't keep alcohol in the house and it's not your thing, that's great. You don't have to use it for this recipe. It'll taste slightly different, but it's not gonna taste bad, I tell you that much. Another little trick we can do here is to see if our sauce is done. See, it's bubbling, it's getting thicker,
Yes.
and we just gotta keep an eye on it. We don't want it to get too thick,
Okay.
and we don't want it to break. But like a cool trick is,
What do you mean break?
when
Oh,
it breaks,
like
the fats and the dairy and everything will break out and it'll get kind of clumpy and
okay.
like gross and oily. The butter and the oils will separate out and it'll look, it might still taste good, but it's not gonna look the best.
Okay.
A cool little trick that you can do is you can dip your spoon in there and then hold the back of your spoon. And if it sticks to the back of the spoon,
Oh, yeah.
I'd like it to be a little bit thicker
Okay.
than that. So we're gonna let it go and we're just gonna stir it around just a little bit more.
Okay.
Maybe add just a touch more butter because that'll help thicken it up. I'm going to ask you questions. You've been asking me questions like it's, like I'm on your show.
Okay.
But out of all the things that I've cooked for you, what is your favorite?
I think I'm gonna say the couscous, the salmon couscous tabbouleh,
Couscous tabbouleh.
which is one of my absolute favorites. Number one, because I love salmon, and number two, it was one of the very first meals I think that you might have cooked for me in like a formal.
Yeah,
way.
when we were dating, I was trying. She was, she's busy working out, eating healthy, and I was pretty much still eating meat and potatoes and fast food. I was a single guy, and that's how I lived. And I was in the checkout, and I saw a magazine, and it had this wonderful looking salad on the top of it, and it was a couscous tabbouleh. And I'd never had that before, so I literally picked up the magazine, put it in my cart, backed out of line, and went and bought all the ingredients for that, and I made it for her, and I topped it off with some grilled salmon.
It was
Okay,
very
I'm
good.
gonna turn this down because I think it is getting just to the right point. Let's try it with the spoon again. See, now it's sticking back the spoon a little thicker. I think it's
Yeah.
perfect. We are gonna go ahead and turn the power off.
Okay.
We're just gonna get it out of the way.
Okay.
All right. Now we're gonna go back to our steak. And how are your fries looking over there, sous chef?
They are good. They should
You wanna go ahead and put them
be
out?
good.
Set them over on the, oh yeah, perfect. Nice and crispy, oh yeah. Now that we've let our steak rest, we're gonna go ahead and give it slice it across the grain.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that looks so good.
That was perfect. It's a little more, it's a little on the more medium rare side,
okay.
but I think you're gonna like it. This is a very tender cut of steak,
It
so like
looks very
it's
tender.
just the knife's going right through it, and then I think the pepper is gonna just make it taste wonderful. So, a couple more slice it there. Now, I'm gonna grab your plate. I'm gonna set you up, young lady.
Okay.
Crispy French fries.
So we're putting the fries as the
We're
base.
putting the fries down as the base.
Okay.
To the fries, We will add a little bit of salt.
Salt, okay. Love a little salt bay.
Go ahead and put it on top just like that.
That looks really good.
And a spatula. Oh yeah, pan sauce is good.
Oh, this is gonna be really good. I'm so glad we decided to stay home.
Me too.
Awesome. I'm gonna take one
Yeah,
of the
take a
little
little of those,
side ends. I want the plate to move around.
Yep, go around. Yeah, get your little fry, get your little, yeah, oh, that's it. Get some sauce on there.
Okay.
Don't be scared.
Okay. Looking for a French fry.
There you go. It's hot. What is the first flavor that pops out at you?
The peppercorn crust.
And is it like super peppery, super duper peppery, or just like, man, just the right amount?
I think it would be more overwhelming if there wasn't the sauce. But the sauce, I think, helps balance it out. That's really good.
That's really tasty. And it's simple. But, you know, a little break from the norm.
Yeah.
I dare call it a little fancy. Steak frites, a little steak au poivre.
This is awesome. Delicious.
Like I said, we have the house to ourselves tonight and the kids are gone, so this is where we bid you a farewell. Recipe online, pbscharlotte.org. Thank you for joining us. You're always welcome at my dinner table. Everybody have a wonderful night.
Good night.
A production of PBS Charlotte.